can we start with Disney? Because I think that's fascinating. The woke chief of Disney is out, and Bob Iger has been brought back in. The guy who, I don't know how long he was CEO for, but everybody loved Bob Iger. He was very well respected. He retired. He walked off into the sunset. And then the new chief, who seemed really weak, didn't stand up to any of the woke warriors inside, is out after they just signed him to, I think, a 3-year contract. And 4 months into it, he's out. Does this have to do with Ron DeSantis? Is this just about cord cutting and Disney suffering? Like, what do you think is going on here?
So look, the facts are still early, and I'm a big fan of not, over speculating, Megyn, but there's a couple of key observations that stick out to me. And I come from the vantage point of having authored actually a letter to Disney's board of directors and to Bob Chapek earlier this year, questioning certain of their business decisions from a shareholder perspective. I think what happens here is less the fact that Chapek was somehow the woke CEO and Bob Iger was not. To the contrary, Bob Iger was actually a big proponent of meddling in social issues and using Disney as a platform to do it. But I think the difference was the fortitude with which they did it. See, Bob Iger at least made that a coherent part of the company's perspective. That was his line, and he was sticking to it. And for better or worse, I think for worse, but for better or worse, built a brand name around it. Georgia was thinking about passing an anti-abortion statute a few years ago. Disney comes out and says they can't shoot films in the state of Georgia if they consider passing the equivalent of a heartbeat bill, even as they go to the Xinjiang province of China to shoot Mulan over there. So that's the Bob Iger view of the world. I think the issue with Bob Chapek was that he was really half-hearted about his commitment to those so-called politicized agendas. In fact, earlier this year, when employees first pressured him to take a stand on the Florida Parental Rights and Education Act, I will not call it the Don't Say Gay bill, the Parental Rights and Education Act, he actually said that he didn't want to get involved, but he made the worst move of all. He ended up in the worst of all worlds, where within just a matter of days later, he bent the knee and buckled to that pressure anyway, showing that he was a flag that would wave in whatever direction the wind was blowing, too flimsy for the leadership of a company that, I would say that if you had to make the choice between somebody who was committed to excellence at the company and their mission versus somebody who was committed to progressive values, I would take the first over the second every day. But there's an argument to be made that at least if you're going to do the second, you might as well do it clearly and unapologetically. And that's the category that Bob Iger falls into. So I think that's really what's going on here.
So there's not going to be a change in their approach to, they didn't read Woke Inc. and change their minds.
Well, so the key is whether or not he appoints a successor. I think as long as Bob Iger stays in that seat, I don't think there's going to be a change. However, the key thing to watch for is whether or not he actually appoints a successor and uses this as an opportunity to effectively pivot, but without admitting it, and putting someone else in that role. That's what I would like to see from a value creation standpoint. I'd love to see that happen, but I will reserve judgment until that happens, Megyn, before I tell you that's actually what's happening. Until then,
as I understand it, that's part of the deal. He takes over for 2 years and grooms the successor and passes the baton, but the other guy, Chapek, is out and not going to be returning. There is so much to love about fall, from the cooler temperatures to the changing leaves, pumpkin spiced everything. What better way to soak up the best of this season than with a Michael Phelps Swim Spa by Master Spas? A Michael Phelps Swim Spa combines the benefits of a pool with the therapy of a hot tub. It comes in a variety of sizes to complement almost any yard, even if it's a small one. Master Spas worked with Michael Phelps to develop an at-home training and fitness solution that you can use year-round in any season, even in the winter, believe it or not. As your fall calendar fills up, a Michael Phelps Swim Spa is the perfect place to spend time together as a family. Michael Phelps Swim Spas are 100% made in the USA by Master Spas, the world's largest swim spa manufacturer. It is energy efficient. You can use it all year long, as I mentioned. Go to masterspas.com, put in the promo code MK, and that will save you $1,000 on a Michael Phelps Swim Spa or $500 on a Master Spas hot tub. masterspas.com, promo code MK. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.